If you want to be successful at content, you need velocity. The magic is in finding a system that actually allows you to focus much more on the content and the strategy behind it, than that your full attention is to actually the practical matters of how do I produce something, how do I run with it. You can do webinars without relying on others and testing it whether it is a viable, repeatable, and scalable growth channel for your business.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesdays with Trailblazers, brought to you by MarTech Edge, the video podcast where we bring you the latest trends and insights in marketing and technology. I'm your host, Siddesh, and today we have with us Abel Grunfeld, VP of Marketing at Riverside. Abel believes that marketing teams don't need operational bottlenecks that pull time away from the strategic and creative parts of their job. So without further ado, let's welcome Abel. Hey, Abel, how are you doing today?
Hey, very nice to be here.
Well, we're quite excited to see what wonderful insights you have for us, Abel. So, before we start the podcast, I want to mention that it's not every day you get to interview the team behind the platform you actually use. So, we record our podcasts on Riverside. So, this conversation feels like inviting the architects into the building that they design. So, that's the reason we're quite excited to have you, Abel.
Okay, appreciate it.
Abel, to begin with, I'm sure our audience would love to know who Abel is, what's Abel like at work outside, and also what's his career path been like. So any tips and tricks for all the budding marketers out there?
Yeah, sure. So just to introduce myself again, I'm Abel, VP Marketing at Riverside, originally from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And so to start with the interesting thing outside of work, very obsessed with contemporary art, food, and traveling. So I take a lot of inspiration related to marketing from non-marketing field. In terms of my background, it's coming from more diehard economics. So the one thing that I take from that is basically creative problem solving, where marketing is multidisciplinary. I think there's very few departments in any company that do so many different roles within one team. And so I never expected to actually take so many benefits of having a more generalist education of problem solving into, let's say, a professional marketing role. So without knowing it, I grew into this career path where, to summarize, I take the problem solving and sort of analytical skills from more of an academic background and hobbies related to art, food, storytelling to have more of the creative side, and both together have helped me being a marketeer and grow into this role at Riverside.
That's great to know, Abel. Now, to begin with, we all know that webinars generate a lot of value, right? But many organizations struggle to build on that value after the event is over. So, from your perspective, where are teams getting stuck today?
So I think when you speak to marketers and you ask them, do you do webinars? If they say yes, you ask them, how important is it for the business? A lot of them have stories of how it has helped them generate leads, generate pipeline, generate extra revenue. At the same time, almost all of them struggle with the process of making it a scalable, repeatable channel and really delivering this audience experience that they're proud of. And I think one of the reasons there is that a webinar, there's a lot that goes into it. And traditionally, when you look at the workflow of creating webinars, it is broken. It is really, really hard to deliver a webinar and then do all the follow-ups, etc. If you want, I can go in depth, but at the end of the day, it requires 5 to 10 different tools and often multiple people within the team to just do a webinar. And when you zoom out and think about, okay, now, does it still make sense? I don't think so. And I'd be happy to go much more in depth there.
Sure. I mean, we'd love for you to go in depth if you're good.
Okay. So at Riverside, we've hundreds and hundreds of customers using it for webinars. And you often see the transformation and difference between the teams that do webinars and do them consistently and the teams that try to do webinars and stop. And when you ask them, okay, how do you actually do it? What does your workflow look like? You start to understand the difference between the ones that keep on doing it and the ones that don't. Traditionally, before Riverside, they use one solution to send emails pre-webinar, another solution to host web pages to drive registrations, another solution to host a live session. Then they need to do a handover and have someone else from the team edit the webinar. Then they need a different solution to actually make them available on demand. And it takes days to actually send follow-ups with participants to your webinar to be able to convert the attention and the registrations into value-driven follow-ups and actual pipeline. And I don't know how often you do webinars, Sid, but no one has time to do all these different things. And we believe there's a better way. And that's why we offer basically an all-in-one webinar solution where you can actually, as a one-man show, you can take care of everything from beginning to end to not only make it simple, to create a consistent experience for your audience, but also to dramatically reduce the time it takes from your live webinar to the value-driven follow-up where most of the business value comes from in practice.
That makes perfect sense, Abel. Now, moving ahead, a lot of marketing teams are constantly moving between, different platforms for recording, editing, approvals, and distribution. So how does that fragmentation affect the way teams actually work on a day-to-day basis?
So the main things are time to follow up, as
Mhm.
well as a repeatable system to not only see your webinar as a one-time event, but actually keep on making an evergreen content asset that generates revenue for you over the long term. So
Mhm.
the follow up, it is known that the sooner you follow up with people that actually registered and attended, the higher the likelihood that they give you a positive reply to the offer you reach out to. The second one is a lot of work again goes into organizing your webinar, and
Mhm.
most teams don't do anything after it. And it's it's a psychological barrier where you live up to the live webinar because the stakes are high. You have your prospects attending live. There's so much that can go wrong. And when you're done with that, you feel like, okay, you're done. You've done the 80%. But if you care about translating it into actually meaningful conversations with your prospects, the work only starts there. And so the best way to do it is you drive a lot of registrations to your webinar. Best case scenario, you get around 30 to 40% of registrants attend the live webinar. What it means is you need to follow up and have a high quality recording for those that attended, but also those that didn't attend it but registered. And then the big difference is you take your evergreen asset, you create personalized value-driven follow-ups for those that attended, you create different clips for social to reach more registrants to your webinar, and you make it available on demand so that you keep on generating registrants even months after your webinar has ended. That is the playbook that is very much system thinking that actually is a big difference for our customers of the ones that do it to engage prospects and get a few leads, and actually ones that get the maximum business value out of their webinars.
Got it. Now, speaking about Riverside, Riverside brings several parts of the workflow into one platform, right? And beyond making things easier, what real business impact does consolidation create for marketing teams?
So I think you can look at it from a few different lenses. One is, of course, the resources. It saves you time. It saves you money. You don't need the different tools. You don't need to work with external editors. You don't need to hire other people. The third one, it's about opportunity cost. Again, the better the time from webinar to actually follow up, the higher the positive reply rate, the more business value you generate. And the fourth one is much more of an enabling factor where suddenly you can actually, as a small team, you can do webinars without relying on others and testing it whether it is a viable, repeatable, and scalable growth channel for your business. So those are the main things it enables. And so consolidation is not only a practical thing of saving time, saving money on different tools, but it also actually makes it much easier to do webinars, and therefore you don't rely on technical support to run it.
Agree with you on that one as well. Now, one challenge many teams face is turning a single webinar or conversation into multiple pieces of content. So, why has repurposing become such an important part of modern marketing?
I think at the end of the day, the best content strategies I see are a combination of short form content, long form content, live audience engagement. And so with the webinars, it is your live engagement. And at the end of the day, everything is a game of attention. No one has enough time in their day, so you cannot always expect your audience to show up live and give you an hour of their day. There's a much higher likelihood that if you create good content and you're very intentional about the short clips you create, to use that 60-second to earn their attention, see it as a trailer of a movie, and then if they see that there's enough value in it, they're much more susceptible and likely to actually engage with the longer format. And so that is why repurposing is so powerful, and it's really about using the repurposed clips as a discovery mechanism, use the live format to build trust and engagement, and then use the value-driven follow-ups as a way to keep on nurturing them until they're in market and you can actually engage them in more product related conversation.
Got it. Well, love the analogy of, a trailer to a movie as well. Now, content demands, continue to grow across every platform. So, how do platforms like Riverside help both lean and enterprise organizations increase output while increasing, say, costs or headcounts?
Sure. So what we always hear from our customers, few things. One is because you can do the end-to-end workflow on Riverside,
Hmm.
anyone can do it. The second one is actually the moment you finish your live webinar, Riverside is working for you. So the software is actually already creating a rough cut of your full webinar. It's creating clips and it adds your tone of voice, it adds your custom branding all to it so that the minute you're done, you actually already have most of the work cut out for you. And then you
Hmm.
still have full control over anything to do the final touches, to polish it, and to follow up with customers and publish right away from Riverside to the channels. So it really is a big difference. And the interesting thing is, are there other ways to do it? Yes. Once you actually see how seamless it is with Riverside, you might not want to go back. It's the same as, let's say, can you run a marathon on flip-flops? Yes. If you run a marathon on good shoes, do you want to go back to flip-flops? Most likely not.
Absolutely not. Well, that makes perfect sense. And yeah, as you rightly said, we also use it and we love it. And I'm pretty sure everyone who uses it loves it as well. So moving ahead, when you look at the future of content marketing, Abel, what advice would you give marketing leaders out there who feel overwhelmed by disconnected tools?
So, first of all, try different solutions. There's a lot of talk, but you know what's best for you. And so I think that the magic is in finding a system that actually allows you to focus much more on the content and the strategy behind it, than that your full attention is to actually the practical matters of how do I produce something? How do I run with it? At the end of the day, if you want to be successful at content, you need velocity. The way you get velocity is getting many shots at goals, because then you're going to learn what's going to work, how to crystallize what resonates with my target audience. And then you can think of different ways of, okay, how do I elevate it? How do I make it more accurate? How do I make it more differentiated? But as long as you don't have the velocity of creating different things, you will learn much slower and you won't get to progress.
Know that. Now, I would love to switch gears a bit, Abel, and do a quick rapid fire round. Quick questions, quick answers, preferably one word if possible. Starting off with, so create more or repurpose better? What matters more?
Start with repurposing, only then create more.
Okay. Quality or speed? What wins today?
Speed.
Great. One sign your tech stack is slowing you down.
Ask yourself how many people are involved to get a piece of content out.
Okay, great answer. Is consolidation a need or a competitive edge?
Competitive edge right now. Over time, absolute need.
Okay, great. Well, those were some wonderful answers. Thank you so much, Abel.
So I'm much more interested. 1 minute, like how can we make Riverside better? Like interviews, I don't care about. I care about making the best product.
I'll be very honest, I don't have an answer right away because I love the product, if you ask me. I mean, we've kind of used other products as well, and I love the product as to what it does. Obviously, yeah, from a perspective, there is always room for improvement. But if you ask me today, I love it and I don't kind of find any flaws. But, my team uses it on a daily basis, my designers, everyone else uses it on a daily basis. Probably I can get you more insights on it and ask my guys to probably come up with more insights about how we can make it better. But if you ask me today, because I'm just the host, I'm just the face of it, I love it. The way it
Okay.
happens, the magic video post this. I don't have any arms or I don't have any complaints, but I'm pretty sure there are rooms for improvement and I'm pretty sure my team can get back to you. I'll definitely drop an email with all the improvements that they find, and I understand, being in the team and we're always going to be a sucker for feedback to make your product much better, right? So I totally understand your question as well. So usually we do a one question round as well, where it's kind of, non-filtered or non-prepared. So kind of get some good nuggets from it as well. So I had one question in terms of what is the future of webinars that you see, what Abel sees? And the second one is what can we expect out of Riverside in the coming years? Now, where it is and what is it going to lead us to?
Sure. So I think the first one, in a world with more and more synthetic media, people will crave real experiences. And within that, you have in-person meetings and you have live engagement, because life is real, it's spontaneous, you cannot plan it. And there's a beauty in the unplanned moments that just appear. To your second question, what you can expect from Riverside is like, we're very focused on building the best possible content creation platform out there. where it doesn't make sense today how hard it is to create a video from beginning to end. And so many people write and publish. And so we're very focused on removing those barriers to go from idea to actual expression and creation. And so we're very focused on supporting and taking away all the work so that you can actually express yourself with audio, with video, and do that in such a way that you don't only create, but you can only better engage and build your audience.
Well, amazing insight. I'm happy that I asked that question. I've really enjoyed hosting on our podcast Tuesdays with Trailblazers. And thank you all for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. Until next time, stay tuned with MarTech Edge for more insights. Till we meet again, signing off, your host, Siddesh.